So, when should you tell your child that they are on the autism spectrum? As an autistic adult, I'm here to just offer my perspective on the subject and some ways on how to approach the subject with your child. So here we go. Well, hello into people, how are you guys doing? And if you're brand new to this channel, then don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any autism content, because this is what my channel is about, you know, talking about different aspects of being autistic. So when should you tell your child they are on the autism spectrum? Now, this was a conversation I had with a viewer on one of my older videos, and the conversation I had with this person has really been messing around in my brain for quite a number of months, and I've really wanted to make a video on it. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, I don't have kids myself, so the advice that I am going to be offering is more from a place of the autism side of things and how I would personally approach the subject with a child. But I do really want to say that I hope you find the video useful and you'll be able to take something away from it, because that's what I really want from these videos, you know, to be able to help people. So anyway, here we go. So for me, being autistic, autism as a condition for me is not a bad thing. Even though there might be times where I find certain situations difficult because of anxiety, which is relating to my autism because of the situation, it isn't a bad thing. I feel it's more of a positive on my life than a negative. But of course, that is just my opinion. That's just what I think of autism as a whole through my own experiences in living with this condition. And that's another thing as well. Autism for me is a part of my identity. It's a part of who I am. And really the way I think things, see things, and the way I do things comes from that. If there was a situation where we went to get a diagnosis, or, you know, went to see a GP or a doctor, you know, we take our child to see a GP and the GP refers us on to someone who diagnoses our child as autistic, like a psychiatrist or someone like that, you know, get a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. How would I tell my fictional child in this scenario that they're autistic? Well, firstly, I would tell them that they're on the spectrum for their own benefit, because they might have an idea that they're different from their peers. You know, it can answer a lot of questions for them. Now, I'm not saying that different is bad. I feel, personally for me, difference is a good thing. Difference makes the world go around. You know, if people didn't think differently, then there wouldn't be any advances. But fundamentally, I think it's really important to tell your child that they are on the spectrum, because I had to ask my mum when I was 10, 11 why I was different from my peers, because I started to have an inkling that I was different from my peers because I was being taken off to classes that were with my form group, you know, with other people who had ASD or some kind of condition like a learning disability or something. I knew from that kind of age that I was different from my peers for whatever reason. So I asked her, "Mum, why am I different?" And we just had a chat about the whole thing. She just said, "I've got this condition and it just makes me different from my peers for this reason and that reason." And we just had a chat about it. And that to me was helpful, because it gave me an understanding of why I was different. There'll be days where it's not a good enough answer. There will be days when there are bumps in the road, as you can probably imagine if you're a parent yourself, you know, or if you're an autistic person, you'll definitely be able to understand that it's not all a flat line. You know, there's bumps, there's potholes, there's chickens, there's random little miniature humans running across roads, you know, there's just everything, isn't there? So for me, knowing that I was different from an earlier age, even though there were days where it was tough, it still helped. It still did ultimately help to understand why I was different. And now I'm just gonna give you guys some tips on how to tell your child that they're on the autism spectrum, just from my personal perspective. So really the first thing I would have to say in regards to this is, if you're relaxed and your child is relaxed, then you're going to have a much more positive experience. Because if either one of you are not really with that conversation, or one of you's relaxed and the other isn't, there's just gonna be this hustle and bustle, and you know, the conversation might not go over as well. So really having a time where you're in a relaxed setting for yourself and your child, and you two are both relaxed, that is honestly the best way to go about things. And also, you don't have to necessarily sit them down and say, you know, we want to talk to you about something. They might find it easier if they're doing an activity and you're doing that activity with them. That's another thing to consider as well. The general setting, both sides are relaxed, you know, it's all good. How do you tell your child? Well, I feel the best way to tell a child that they are on the autism spectrum is just to be open and honest. You know, maybe say, you know, you have this condition that, you know, that might make you a bit different from other people. However, you are amazing because you have this condition through X, Y, and Z. I think it's very easy and very typical as human beings to find the negatives in things. However, with autism, I think it's so important, really important actually, to make sure that there is a positive emphasis on, you know, their strengths and the things that they are good at and what makes them them. That's kind of the main thing that I would emphasize. I think the most important thing, and this is for everyone out there, not just parents, it's how you deliver it. You know, if it's delivered in a way that the child can understand that, yes, they might be different, but it's a side of them that makes them who they are, then that's going to come over a lot better than saying, you've got this condition that makes you different from everyone else. That's kind of not, that to me is the wrong way to approach it. It kind of has to be in a way that the child's going to be able to understand that it's okay to be different. But also with positivity, you have to just allow time, allow them to process the news, and also be open to questions. You know, they might hear the news and not think anything of it initially. You know, they might wait, I don't know, the next day, a week, whatever the case may be. You know, just be patient, and if they have questions and you know the answer, just say it to them in a way that they'll be able to understand. Or if you don't know the answer initially, there's tons of communities on Facebook and Twitter and everything that will be able to help. Have a look on other communities, talk to people, and then if you find the answer that your child is asking the question about, you'll be able to give them the answer. But most importantly, make your child the focal point of the discussion. Like, anything that you do, anything that you say, it's imperative, I think, to make your child the focal point of anything that you do and anything that you say with regards to this question. Ultimately, it'll help them and it'll also help you, I believe, as well. And really, that's all I've got for this video. However, I do have a video in mind by Purple Ella, who is a great creator here on YouTube. She's autistic and also has autistic kids as well, and she made a very similar video to this, where she talks about how she approached the subject with her kids, and I highly recommend that video, which will be down below. And also go and subscribe to Ella while you're over there as well, because she is great. She is a great advocate for autistic females in this YouTube space that we have. But anyway guys, what did you think of this video? Do you think this will be helpful to you or someone that you know? Or if you need any clarification on anything, leave a comment down below, because I read all of them and I try to reply to every single one. So let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, turn on that notification bell. Stay you, stay indie. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all very soon. See you later guys.